Okay, so you know that feeling you get like when winter is finally over and it's like, wow, spring.
Yeah.
You just want to be outside.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
breathe in the fresh air.
Totally. Yeah.
Everything smells new, feels new. There are like all these possibilities. You know,
That's true.
for me at least, I don't know about you, but for me, it's all about like, I just want to be on the water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's where I'm headed.
That's where we're going today, too. At least in a manner of speaking, really.
Exactly.
We're going to do a deep dive into springtime paddling here in Michigan.
Yes.
And you know what's really great is that we've got this awesome resource that we've been looking at.
Okay.
Kayaking and canoeing in springtime Michigan. Adventure with a dash of caution.
Catchy title.
It is. It is.
So this is like the perfect guide for like figuring out how to have a really great time out on the water this spring.
Absolutely. And, being safe, too.
Safety first.
Yeah.
So this is like your one-stop shop for everything you need to know to get ready for spring paddling here in Michigan.
Yep, that's the mission.
Be prepared, be informed, and be ready to like fully embrace what Michigan has to offer.
Right.
Especially in the spring.
Yeah. And speaking of being ready and prepared, if you're anywhere near Chesterfield Township, you are in for a treat.
All right.
Because this episode is brought to you by Motor City Paddle Club Kayak Rentals.
Very cool.
They're located right at Weber Paddle Park. So if you're in that area and looking to get out on the water, you are in luck.
Okay, so that's Motor City Paddle Club Kayak Rentals at Weber Paddle Park in Chesterfield Township.
That's it.
Got it.
They're actually getting ready to open for the season, April 19th, 2025 at 10:00 a.m.
Mark your calendars, people.
I know, right?
April 19th, 2025.
It's coming up.
It's right around the corner.
For sure.
So you can go check out their website, www.motorcitypaddleclub.com, or give them a call, 313-765-2925 to book a kayak.
Perfect. So keep that in mind as we go through this, because we're going to talk about all sorts of things that are going to make you want to get out on the water.
Yeah, so like for you personally, what is it about paddling in Michigan during the springtime?
Well, you touched on it at the beginning, right? Like after a long winter, you just kind of want to get out there and experience nature sort of waking up again.
Yes.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
And you've got like the best possible view from your kayak or your canoe.
Front row seat.
Right. And the article talked about, those early blooms coming out, those splashes of color.
Yeah.
The trees are starting to bud. Everything's fresh and green.
Yeah.
Birds are coming back. You might even see some turtles or deer by the water's edge.
Oh, wow.
It's really like nature's grand opening, and you're right there for it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And one thing that I thought was really interesting that the article pointed out is that spring is a lot different from summer in terms of paddling. There are way fewer crowds.
I can imagine.
You could have a whole stretch of river or lake pretty much to yourself.
That's awesome.
It's like you and nature, that peacefulness, that feeling of being immersed. That's a huge part of why people love spring paddling.
It's a different kind of experience.
It is.
It's not like the craziness of summer.
No, not at all.
No fighting for parking spots or anything like that.
Exactly. Plus, if you're into wildlife, spring is the best time to see all sorts of cool stuff.
Okay.
Like the article mentioned loons, herons, beavers.
Wow.
Imagine paddling along and seeing one of those animals just doing their thing.
It's like a nature documentary.
Right.
Live and in person.
It's a pretty unique experience.
Yeah.
But, with all this beauty and excitement comes a really important thing that we need to talk about.
Safety.
Exactly.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Well, it's cold water safety.
Right.
And the article really stresses this, and for good reason.
Yeah.
You might have a sunny day and feel warm, but that water, especially in early spring, can be shockingly cold.
Deceivingly cold.
Yeah. We're talking below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes even in the 40s. Yeah, and if you fall into water that cold, hypothermia can set in super fast.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's a real danger that a lot of people underestimate.
It's easy to forget when the sun's out.
Right. You think, oh, it's a nice spring day, but that water is a whole different story.
Yeah.
And like the article says, falling into that water is like hitting a wall of cold.
So what do we do?
Well, the article gives some really great advice, and it all starts with dressing for the water, not the air.
Okay, so what does that actually mean? Dress for the water.
I'm glad you asked, because this is crucial.
Okay.
They strongly recommend wearing a wetsuit or even a drysuit, especially in early spring.
I see.
Now, a wetsuit, it works by trapping a thin layer of water between your skin and the suit.
Okay.
And your body heat warms up that water, so it acts as insulation.
Oh, I get.
A dry suit, on the other hand, is completely waterproof. You are insulating layers underneath, and you stay totally dry.
So it's like wearing your own little personal submarine.
Kind of.
Gotcha.
And no matter what you do, avoid cotton clothing.
Why is that?
Because When cotton gets wet, it loses all its insulating properties.
Yeah.
It can actually make you colder.
That seems counterintuitive.
I know, right? But it's true. The article even says cotton equals cold.
Got it. So cotton is a no-go.
Exactly.
So we've got our wetsuits, we've ditched the cotton. What's next on the cold water safety checklist?
All right, so next up is your PFD.
Okay, PFD, for those who don't know,
It stands for personal flotation device, or in other words, a life jacket.
the trusty life jacket.
And this is so important. The article is really clear about this. A life jacket does you absolutely no good if it's strapped to your kayak or tucked away somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to wear it
At all times.
all the time, properly fitted.
It's like a seatbelt for the water.
Exactly. Because if you end up in the water unexpectedly, that PFD will keep you afloat.
And in cold water, that's even more important.
Absolutely. You know, the initial shock of cold water can make it hard to breathe and move.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That PFD will give you those precious seconds you need to get your bearings.
So it's not just about having it, it's about wearing it.
Absolutely. And it could save your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the article also mentioned the importance of recognizing the signs of cold water shock and hypothermia.
Right. And those are two different things.
Okay, could you break this down for us?
Sure. So cold water shock is your body's immediate reaction to being plunged into cold water.
Got it.
Like, you might gasp for air involuntarily, your breathing might get really fast, and your heart rate and blood pressure could spike.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It is, and it can be really dangerous. It can lead to panic and even drowning.
I can see how that would happen.
Yeah, it's your body basically freaking out.
Okay, and what about hypothermia? How is that different?
Hypothermia is when your core body temperature starts to drop dangerously low.
Okay, so it's more of a gradual thing.
It is, and the scary thing is you might not even realize it's happening at first.
So what are the signs we should be looking for?
Well, early signs can include shivering, obviously, but also confusion, slurred speech, and clumsiness. As it gets worse, the shivering might stop, which is a really bad sign. You might start acting irrationally or even lose consciousness.
Oh.
Yeah, it's serious stuff.
Yeah.
The article actually mentioned that you can experience muscle failure in under 10 minutes in very cold water, and unconsciousness can happen in under an hour in water that's 50 degrees.
Wow, that's not a lot of time.
It's not. So you have to be really aware of these signs, both in yourself and in your paddling buddies.
Okay, so we've got our safety gear. We know the signs of cold water danger. What else do we need to keep in mind for spring paddling in Michigan?
Well, spring in Michigan is known for being a little bit unpredictable, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, one minute it's sunshine, the next minute it's snowing.
Like 4 seasons in one day.
Exactly. So the article really stresses the importance of scouting your route beforehand,
Okay.
because spring rains and snowmelt can cause the water levels to be a lot higher than they are in the summer.
Makes sense.
And the currents can be faster, too.
Oh, that sounds challenging.
It can be, and it definitely increases the risk of capsizing or getting swept into hazards.
So what kind of hazards are we talking about?
Well, things like downed trees, debris that's been washed downstream, stuff like that.
Things that might not be there in the summer.
Exactly.
So what's the best way to deal with that?
Well, first of all, paddle with the buddy
Always a good idea.
and let someone know where you're going and when you expect to be back.
Like a float plan.
Exactly.
Okay.
That way, if something does happen, someone knows where to look for you.
It's like a safety net.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, on top of that, be prepared for the weather to change.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Right. Pack a dry bag with extra layers of warm, waterproof clothing,
Yeah.
snacks, a first aid kit, your phone in a waterproof case, all the essentials.
Be prepared.
Always be prepared.
That's the motto.
And don't forget about visibility.
Oh, right. What about that?
Wear bright colors so other boaters can see you, especially in murky water.
Good point.
And carry a whistle in case you need to signal for help.
Those are all really great tips.
I think so.
So we've talked about safety. Now let's get to the fun part.
Okay.
Where are we paddling?
Well, the article mentions a few awesome spots.
Let's hear them.
First up is the All Sable River.
I've heard good things about that one.
It's known for its peaceful currents and beautiful scenery.
Sounds relaxing.
Very much so. It's perfect for a chill paddle surrounded by nature.
I like it.
What?
Next, and this is perfect for our Chesterfield Township listeners, is the Huron River.
Oh, yeah, that's right where Motor City Paddle Club is located.
Exactly. The article actually recommends it for beginners.
Cool.
It's a great place to get back into paddling after the winter.
A spring reboot.
Perfect way to put it.
So that's the Huron River. Check it out.
For sure.
What else is on the list?
The article also mentions the Lake Huron shoreline.
Ooh, the big lake.
It says that on calm days, It can be absolutely stunning.
I can imagine.
But, as we've been talking about, you really have to be careful about the cold water.
Yeah, Lake Huron is no joke. Definitely not for beginners.
So that's more for experienced paddlers.
Absolutely. People who are really prepared for those conditions.
Got it. Okay, what about something a little more adventurous?
Well, for the thrill seekers out there, there's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore.
Wow, that place is amazing.
I know, right? The article talks about paddling alongside ice caves and towering cliffs.
Sounds epic.
It does.
Huh.
But again, they emphasize that this is only for experienced paddlers.
Right, with the right gear and all that.
Absolutely, and a good understanding of the hazards.
Not a casual paddle trip.
No, not at all.
All right, so we've got peaceful rivers, we've got the big lake, we've got cliffs and ice caves. What else is there?
Last but not least, the article mentions the St. Clair Flats.
Oh, yeah, the flats.
It's a great spot for bird watching,
Great.
and it's a much calmer paddling environment.
So a good option for a more relaxed experience.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've got a lot of great options, something for everyone.
It seems like it.
And it's all right here in Michigan.
Amazing, right? But one thing that really stands out from the article, no matter where you go, is that you have to respect nature.
Oh, yeah, especially in the spring,
Especially in the spring, things can change so quickly.
like we were talking about.
Exactly. So be prepared, be aware of your surroundings, and don't underestimate the power of nature.
Words to live by.
I think so.
All right. So to wrap things up, what are the key takeaways for our listeners today?
Well, spring paddling in Michigan is a fantastic experience.
Agreed?
You get to enjoy nature at its finest. The air is fresh. The scenery is amazing. It's really special.
Yeah, it's like a whole new world.
It is,
Yes.
but you have to be smart about it.
Right. Safety first.
Safety first,
Yeah.
always. So make sure you have the right gear, you know how to stay safe in cold water, and you're prepared for anything.
Be prepared.
That's the key.
So paddle smart, paddle safe, and enjoy all the amazing things that spring in Michigan has to offer.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And of course, if you're in the Chesterfield Township area and you're ready to get out on the water, be sure to check out Motor City Paddle Club at Weber Paddle Park.
Great place to start.
Their grand opening is April 19th, 2025, and you can find all the details on their website, www.motorcitypaddleclub.com, or give them a call, 313-765-2925.
They'll get you set up.
So get out there and explore, but do it safely.
This deep dive has really got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
About what? Well, we talked about how each season offers a different perspective on Michigan's landscapes, right?
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, beyond the obvious changes, what other subtle shifts are happening in nature with each season?
That's a good question.
What other secrets are hidden, just waiting for us to discover them?
Something to think about.
It is. It really is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
Until next time, happy paddling.
And stay safe out there.